Hello. Today's episode is inspired by fucking corporate America. Shop local today because your local provider of generally whatever you're out to purchase won't have an insanely big store that they change up every now and then for marketing reasons. So, again, fuck corporate America for many other reasons as well. Hello, boils and ghouls, and everyone creepy in between. This is another episode of the Average Ghost Mom podcast. Ugh. Did that did this episode sponsor sound a little too personal? Yeah, it was. It was a targeted ad, and not for the same definition as what targeted ads are. It's very much a targeted ad, but you'll get to hear about that later in this episode. Oh. Okay. First of all, holy cannoli, this is episode 26, halfway through a year's worth of recording. Now, I know that I have ended up having to skip some weekends. Um, but I mean, I've done I've recorded half of a year basically, give or take a month. I know we're not going to add like the 50th, the 52nd episode won't be coincide with the exact start date of my podcast, but that's okay because look at me, I've been doing this basically 26 consecutive weeks. Wow. Um I think that's pretty good if you ask me. Anyway, what else? Um ooh, hold on. First of all, if you like good pop music with good beats, good music, good lyrics, and a little bit of rapping, you need to get yourself on some K-pop Demon Hunter, okay? I did not think I was going to watch it, and then I kept seeing all these ads and all these TikToks, and I was like, well, I want to understand. Like, I want to know what they're talking about. And the music, like the main advertisement song, I'm like, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It hits a little. But y'all, the first song that they play in the whole freaking movie is one of my favorites. As far as songs sung by the girls, that first one, when they're on the plane, is my absolute favorite. Um, gives me chills, gives me goosebumps every single time because like I was in choir for quite a few years and so I am more attuned to hear the notes being sung, and when Rumi hits those high notes, she's talking to me as a soprano one. The soprano one in me is like, oh my gosh, they're clean, they're they're toned, they're pitched perfect. Oh, every time, every time. I get tears in my eyes because the goosebumps are so hard when I listen to it. And then my favorite song sung by the boys is at the end. It's actually the last song that the boys sing. Your Idol is my favorite when they're in the arena with the whole like city basically because I hear that song and on one hand it speaks to like all of the toxic relationships I've ever had. If you listen to the lyrics, to the English lyrics, oh my god, like it ignites a small fire in me of like, yeah, I'm better than all that. Like I saw all those flags, all the ones that you guys are singing about, and I'm like, wow, that hits in in a few different ways. One of them I wish it didn't hit, but is what it is. But then also I was thinking about it and I have decided that if I was somebody with a superpower, if I had any super abilities and I was able to have no repercussions, I would 100% be evil. Like I was thinking about it because I was like, why are evil people evil? Like they want power, right? And I would be like, no, I want to be evil because I don't like need power. Honestly, I just want people to know who I am and stay the fuck out of my way. I don't want to pay taxes. I don't want to pay for groceries. I don't want to work. I just want to go in to the grocery store, take whatever I want to take, and go home and feed my family. And everyone is like, oh God, oh no, Kristana's here. Oh shit, we better hide. She's gonna fuck us up. Because I have whatever superpower. And I just go in and do what I want. But I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't need anybody to I don't need any servants or anything. I just want to not have to work and not have to pay for anything equally. That's why I would be evil. I want to I want to be able to take my kid to school, drop her off, and know that she's going to get the best education that she can out there because oh shit, we don't want to make her Sama mad because she could really fuck shit up, you know? Like some people are going to have to die in the process to understand that I mean business and I want what I want when I want it. Um, but that is the whole role of um being respected by fear, you know? That's that's just how that goes. But yeah, I would totally use my power for evil to get what I wanted. But I'm not trying to rule the world or everyone is my minion or anything. I'm not trying to take the moon or anything. Sorry, that was a really bad Gru try. I tried. I don't need the moon like Gru. I don't want the moon. That's crazy. Anyway, oh, I made fire cider the other day. Um, and then I made fire cider a few weeks ago, and then I realized I didn't post the video on TikTok of me making the fire cider, but I posted the TikTok of me drinking the fire cider. So theoretically, for anyone that follows my page, they had no idea what it was. Um, but I'm going to tell you now. So, the health benefits of fire cider, so many, too many, too many. I know anti-inflammatory, I know viral or not antioxidant, but antibacterial, um, and other things. I'll probably make a short little TikTok about it, and I'll reply to somebody's comment that asked me, "What does it even do? Gives you heartburn?" But no, so you take a jar, and in my fire cider, there's lots of things you can put in. There's no wrong amount or wrong combination. It's just, I think it's just kind of more of put what you can afford, put what you have, and put as much of it in? So I had an orange, a lemon, an onion, I had garlic cloves, I put in rosemary and thyme and cinnamon sticks. I put in turmeric. I put in salt and pepper. Ava's had garlic cloves, and then that was it. And then you fill it up with apple cider vinegar so everything is submerged. Josh's did not have garlic, but his had jalapeno and cayenne pepper. And then you just fill it up with apple cider vinegar. And technically, you're supposed to take a shot daily, but I think we are just going to take a shot weekly because, Lord, did you see my face? I almost vomited, and that was just Ava's. I took a shot of Josh's with Josh, and again, same reaction. Um, I made one for my friend, and she threw it back and looks at me, and she goes, "That's not bad." I mean, that's exactly how, when I smelt it, that I thought it was going to taste. This would be really good in a Bloody Mary. And I'm like, you're disgusting. Because I don't drink Bloody Marys. I don't like tomato juice like that. Texture, taste, not my thing. So I'll make a TikTok about it so you guys can find that in sometime. I don't know because it's in relevance of when I'm recording this and not in relevance of when this episode is coming out. So you can either go look at it now Or maybe after this episode airs, maybe I'll finally get it up. I don't know. It just depends. I'm kind of all over the place because the seasonal depression is coming in. See, I thought I just had year-round depression, and I don't. I think I have depressive fluxes, but I do know one thing that I kind of get depressed when I forget to change out my birth control ring because I have a ring, a Nuva ring, and Josh has severely noticed, and bless his heart, I get really sad and really emotional and really mopey and down and just like ready to, like check out. And he said one time, this last time, he goes, "Babe, I promise you, I'm not trying to be a dick when I say this. I I'm just asking in being concerned about your own health. Is it time to change your birth control?" And I said, "Oh shit, yeah, I'm like a week late on that. I need to go put a new ring in. Fuck." And yeah. So he's picked up on the signs. It's like, oh, when Kristana's like really, really, really sad, she probably just needs to change out her birth control. So, yeah. So I don't know if I have seasonal depression. I don't know, but it really, ugh, God, these past couple weeks have just been so bad. I've been going to bed at like 7:30, 8 o'clock. I don't want to do nothing. I'm out of energy. I'm tired. I just, doing anything stresses me out, and it's all zero from there. So, but I'm feeling pretty good. This past weekend, ooh, 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 ooh. Hold on. Hold the phone. Wait, hold on. I need to look at my notes really fast to make sure I don't skip anything. Okay. Okay. I think I could tell you about the past 2 weekends now. Are you ready? Sit down for this story time, okay? So, last weekend, and I'm going to tell you the nice version, not the version that I actually told my friends, because there was some extra thoughts on my end about some things. So if you are one of my close friends who has heard the extra details, do not comment anything about them, okay? That's between you and me, alright? This is the PG version, okay? So 2 weekends ago was the Peace Festival for Ava's school, and it was really cool. I was really excited. They have two festivals in the year. They have the Peace Festival in the fall, and then in the spring they have a, I don't know what it's called, but it's some sort of spring festival, and things are growing, and there's a plant sale, and I'm super excited to help with that. Um and so this the Peace Festival was 2 weekends ago, and it was out at this like nature preserve on the top of a mountain, mind you, okay? Like I live at the foot of a mountain. It's a short mountain, but it's like it is a mountain, okay? And they're like, "Oh, here's the address. Put it in Google and then just follow us." I'm like, "Okay, dirty dir. Get off work." And I have to put my car, I don't even like, I'm struggling to get up this mountain in my car. I'm worried that my car will not make it up the mountain. I have it in sport mode, so the revs are high, so it can get going when I need to get going. But like the incline percentage is questionable. And I'm like, God, like people live up here? There's so many houses, so many driveways. I'm like, golly, why would anybody want to live up here? Because this area gets snow and ice. Like, how do you get up and down a mountain that's icy and then potentially also snowy when you can't see the road? You know? Because Huntsville is not prepared with the snow plows at all. I mean, they probably have a couple, but they're not prepared like Omaha is prepared. You feel? So I'm like, golly, I lived up this mountain. I wouldn't be having no kids. I'd make sure I had a work from home job, and I'd make sure that my canned foods is stocked up. Good heavens. Anyway, so I finally get up this mountain and I get to the parking area. And while going up this mountain, exactly 5 drops of rain fell from the sky. And I said, "Oh, it might get a little rainy." And then it didn't rain. But I got out of that car and I said, "Holy moly. That 5 drops of rain brought 100% humidity." And because all day it's been really nice and in like the lower 70s, no humidity, I said, "Oh, I'll wear my sweatpants while I'm up there, just in case I brush up on any plants that, might leave some rashes on my legs. I don't want any of that." But in 100% humidity, baby, you do not want to be wearing sweatpants. Ugh, golly. So, I am we get up there. It's a very nice little place. You initially you walk through like you park and you walk through like the main gate, the main entrance, and there's like a roofed, that's not the word I wanted to say, a covered picnic area. And then if you kind of go, it's a not a steep hill at all, but it is clearly a hill that goes down. You go down the hill, and then there's this huge lake. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh. And we're just starting to get into fall, so some of the trees are still green, some of them are darker green, some of them are starting to turn, yellow, orange, browns. It's beautiful. There's a whole bunch of picnic benches and some like porch swings, and there's a couple docks going out into the lake. And I tell you what, there are kids running everywhere. I mean, it is just a Montessori throwdown up here. Lord. And my serial killer brain says, "Oh, nobody is paying attention to their kid. If your kid knows how to run, nobody's paying attention to them. It's the babies and the toddlers that are having like parents that are attached to their parents one way or another. But the kids, like my kid, who's running around, ain't nobody watching them." I said, "This is the perfect time for somebody to see, oh, a parking lot full of cars. Oh, all these children unsupervised running around. Well, let me just find one of them and say, 'Hey, do you want to go get some Rita's ice out in the parking lot? I'm one of your mommy's friends. I've got money. Let's go out to the parking lot and get some Rita's ice.'" Boom. Abducted. Hell no. So I watched my child from a distance run around, pick up sticks, pick up rocks, throw them in the lake. You know, there was a little bracelet making station, cute, but starting to get kind of hot, starting to get kind of warm, starting to perspire a little bit. And this was the first time I learned that Ava has a friend at school. She's got a little friend at her new school. And they were like inseparable this time. So, then the principal lady, she calls out like, "Hey, all the kids get in a circle. We're gonna sing the candle song or whatever." Everybody gets in a circle and they sing and they're like, "Oh, thank you for coming out to this peace festival this year. Great turnout. We got some stuff up here, blah blah blah. But if you want to go on the nature hike, go stand by the swings and we'll get everybody together and then we'll go head out together." Well, a couple of the bigger kids, I'm talking, they're like 6, 7, 8th graders. They're like, "We don't need, like, we've been here before. We know the trail. We're going to head out." And they start sprinting into the woods on this nature trail. Well, my kid and her new friend see that and they're like, "Oh, we're going to go too." And they start sprinting. So, me and new kid's dad, who him and I have kind of been we have been keeping an eye on our children from afar. New friend has an older brother, so mom was kind of keeping up with the older brother and dad was keeping up with the daughter. So him and I got, we kind of got to talk, kind of got to know each other. Like, "Oh, like my kid is friends with your kid, let's be acquaintances." And we see our kids take off and we're like, "Well, shit, we gotta go." So we start speed walking and we're like, hold on, slow down. Like, rule is you gotta be able to see us and we gotta see you. Get too far, it's not good. So we are hightailing it. And I've never been up here. I don't know what this area is. I'm new still. I'm still new to the area. So I had no idea that this was a mile and a half hike around the lake. Y'all, I looked like I was dying. Because, first of all, I have rosacea, and if I do any little bit of sort of um, physical activity, um, my whole face turns like beet red. Okay. Then on top of it, because I'm a little more overweight than I usually am right now, um, doing any physical activity makes me start sweating like a pig. And then on top of it, I'm outside in 100% humidity with sweatpants and I'm almost jogging with how fast that I'm walking on a nature hike. Not like a flat, nice paved road or like a treadmill. Like, no. Tree branches, rocks, inclines going up, declines going down, the whole 9 yards. So, like, by the time I'm done hightailing around this lake, I visually look like I could keel over at any minute. Well, in my pain and suffering of because I just breathe louder when I am speed walking, when I'm doing physical exercise these days. I didn't notice that my shoe was digging into my Achilles heel. Because side note, I wore my brand new cute Aldi shoes so I could kind of be like, "Oh, look at me. I shop at Aldi." Like I like to get Aldi stuff because I like good deals and I like dye-free food. So look at me. Like, you can trust me to bring snacks, kind of thing. Well, side note, I have to wear men's shoes because my feet are so big. They don't, like, Aldi does not sell shoes, women's shoes in my size. And let me tell you, Aldi goes up to a size 10 in women's. So that's going to tell you something, okay? So I had to get men's shoes, and the backs of men's shoes go up higher than women's shoes because men's feet are built a little different than women's feet. So I didn't know that the back was digging into my heel, literally. And so by the time we got done and I was able to like take a second and catch my breath, I noticed I had like a sharp sting in the back of my heel, and I look and I'm bleeding. I'm bleeding all over my brand new Aldi shoes from the back. Oh, I was so mad. I was so mad because I'm like, ah, these are brand new shoes and I wanted to be cute. But these children had to run. They couldn't just walk the trail. So I had to almost run the whole trail. Ugh, these children, these shoes. And it was like, oh, let's go finish making our bracelets, friend. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Looky here. Do you see? What do you see? She goes, oh, mommy, you're bleeding. And I'm like, mm-hmm. Do you have a band-aid? She goes, well, no. And I'm like, okay, guess what? Neither do I. So we need to go home. And she's like, oh, but mommy, I'm not done making my bracelet yet. And I'm like, I know. Quickly finish it because it's just some pony beans on a pipe cleaner. So finish it up. Tell your friend bye. And we'll see her tomorrow at her birthday party. She's like, okay. So I'm like, all right, good, great. So, um, friends, parents, first impression of me is that I am not physically fit. It's clearly because I was dying by the end of this hike. And I apparently don't wear the right shoes, so I do not dress for the occasion correctly. So we go. She wants bacon sandwiches. So we go and oh my gosh, I forgot. I skipped this part. I almost burnt my house down because sometimes at the end of my shift, because my shift goes so late now, I can like start cooking dinner. Well, I'm cooking with cast iron now as much as I can rather than Teflon coated pans, and I needed to cook some rice. So I put that in one of my stainless steel pots, and I put that on the top one. Well, because I keep my cast iron on the stove top, I put a pad underneath it so I can scoot it around as I need, and I'm not gonna like scratch up the glass because it's a glass stove top. Well, I accidentally turned on the wrong eye, and I set pad, the thing, the um um my brain is farting. I can't think of the word. It's not a pot holder, but like I have a fabric trivet. That's what it is. I set my fabric trivet on fire because I turned on the wrong stove eye and it smelt horrible. And then I tried to save dinner, but dinner wasn't going to get cooked in time. And then I ended up burning the rice. It was, oh God. So I was like, honey, I need to leave for this peace festival. Dinner did not happen. So you'll need to get something on your way home because I will not be home and dinner will not be there. And it's going to be a while until I get home. He's like, okay. So that's why after the peace festival, Ava wanted bacon sandwiches because right now that is her absolute favorite meal is BLTs. So we go to Five Guys and we get BLTs, and I'm like, why the hell did I choose Five Guys? I could have found any other fast food restaurant that has a drive-through, so I wouldn't have to put my shoes back on. But I was already at Five Guys, and Five Guys on the other end of the road from where these other restaurants are, and it's rush hour right now. So to get to the other end of town, it's gonna take forever, and she's hungry and extremely thirsty. So I will just put my shoes back on and I will deal with it. We get BLTs and we go home, and I'm mad. So yeah, that was that Friday night. So I'm excited though because Saturday is my first volunteer day because I signed up to be part of the building and grounds committee for her school. And I'm excited. It's the first day. They said, bring a drill and a circular saw if you have one. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't have the circular saw, but I do have a drill. So I get there and I meet the head of the board of the building and grounds committee, like the committee head. And I'm like, oh, cool, great. And then, crazy enough, friend's dad pulls up. He's also part of the grounds and building committee. And I was like, wow, what are the odds? So, not only does he get to see me die last night, he also gets to see me die today because working outside in the sun, also, doing any physical activity tends to make people's rosacea spike up. So, doing anything out in the sun, outside physical activity, is really going to make my rosacea spike up. And I'm going to start sweating immediately. But also, what are the odds that as I'm wearing a t-shirt and shorts today, and I'll be in the sun, that I get either a flash sunburn or I get a sun rash? Because of course, I'm a ginger, and gingers already sunburn easily depending on the UV index, and I don't know how to read it. I really should learn how to read it, but I don't know how to read the UV index, okay? I don't know what it means, but I can get sunburns in 10 minutes. Legitimately. It's happened before. I used to live at the beach, okay? I also have an allergy to the sun that under I don't know what kind of circumstances, but under some very specific circumstances, I get hives on my forearms from the sun because just getting sunburns easily isn't enough. Which is funny because I also have a vitamin D deficiency, and the way you naturally get vitamin D is by going into the sun. But I can't do that because I'm allergic to the sun. And on top of that, I have psoriasis, which is like my skin makes too much skin on certain parts of my body in weird patches. So, you know, that's fine. My skin and the sun just don't get along, but they need each other, but they choose to stay away from each other, kind of, in a sense, in a way. Anyway, yeah, dermally, I'm fucked. So, oh, and I have rosacea, which is a dermal problem as well. Generally, it is seen as a dermal problem. So, I have no idea what this man is going to witness of me again today. in pig fashion. So while he comes out and he's got his power tools, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going. I need direction. And so the committee head said, here's a rake. Rake the pea gravel out of the grass because we're going to put it all over here and we're going to board it all up and then we're going to be good to go. And I'm like, cool, 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 cool. I can do that. Well, his kid's birthday party is that day. And so he's like, oh, I can only be here for like the first hour out of 2 hours. I can only be here the first hour because I have to go back and get ready for the party. So, okay, cool. That's fine. Because that gives me and the committee head leader some time because I want to be her right hand man. Like, I want her to come to me with opinions and questions and stuff about what I think about things. I don't know. I want to be important on this, but mostly, I want her to know that she can count on me and I'm gonna be there. So I'm super stoked. I'm raking the pea gravel. We're putting up a fence, like a chain link fence, and then we're cutting wood and we're measuring the wood to cut. And it was overall, I felt successful. And then we walk around the rest of campus and she's showing me, oh, like this is a project we're going to do at some point, and this is a big project we're going to do at some point, and I don't quite know how we're going to do it, but I have to get some ideas first, but we're going to do this one first, then that one second, and blah, blah, blah. And then like the maintenance man comes over and he's like, well, hey, by the way, I don't think you heard, but like such and such group doesn't want this thing in their yard. They want it to be dispersed and mostly everybody's on board and these people want this stuff and those people want this stuff. So this specific area is going to need to be dispersed of, sooner than later. And so she's like, oh, that would help. I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be like really good. We could put like these things over here for this project. She's like, yeah, that's a really good idea. Putting it like boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, hey, look at us, same page. And then I said, well, hey, I noticed there's like no bird feeders on campus. Like, is that like if I was willing to donate my time on the weekends and keep up with that, is that something that like you think the principal would be okay with? And she's like, you'd be willing to drive all the way out here to help with that? And I'm like, dude, I live like 10 minutes up the road. Most weekends, at least one of the days, I am home. So, yeah, it's not nothing for me to drive up here to maintain the bird feeders every weekend. One time every weekend. She's like, "Oh yeah." Like totally like email the principal, ask her, picture your idea. Like, there you go. Y'all, I did it. She gave me the green light. Um So that's my little special project that I get to start working on, and I am super excited because it makes me feel important. Giving me special tasks to do that I am in charge of course with approval from the correct people, that satisfies me exactly where I want it to satisfy me at. So, I'm excited to get going on this project. So, let's see. Oh, volunteer time. We did that. We talked, and that was fun. Um, and then after that, we went to the friend's birthday party. It was at this giant indoor trampoline place, and it was really fun. Um, and Ava had a really good time, and it kind of just solidified, like, oh yeah, this is one of Ava's friends. Because again, at this birthday party full of kids that this child, this birthday girl invited, she played with Ava like most of the time. Like as soon as we got there, they ran around everywhere together. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to set up a play date with this one. Okay. Um, but yeah, it was really fun. So that was 2 weekends ago. And then, oh, Monday, the following Monday, was another seminar. And I'm so glad that I went to this seminar. So this seminar was lower elementary math. Just a brief overview of how the math component works for lower L, how they teach it, which they couldn't get into everything because Montessori has so many different math tools because Miss Montessori, the person who made Montessori school, and then of course leaders, pioneers after her. I think her name is Marie Montessori, if I'm not mistaken. They all noticed that math is one of the harder subjects, and so they put some research and money into the tools, and they have a large variety of math learning tools. And we were shown three different tools, technically four, but we were really shown three different tools. And the whole time I'm looking at this, I'm like, this is Common Core, but the right way. And this is what I mean, okay? One of our concerns as parents was, does Montessori teach Common Core? And the answer is no, they don't teach Common Core. Okay? I did not learn Common Core, but I have been exposed to Common Core. I could not teach you how to do Common Core, but I watched three videos about how to do it and I understood what they were trying to teach, like why they were splitting up the numbers and assessing them how they were. I understand why they were doing that, but the problem is Common Core should be taught physically, not on a board, not on a piece of paper, not on a single two-dimensional paper. It needs to be taught three-dimensionally, physically. And that's what Montessori does. Montessori has um they've got the bead system. They call them golden beads. So like a single bead is 1 unit. A string of 10, which they have like the strings of 10 done, is, that's tens. And then 10 tens put together, so a square is 100. And 10 squares put together is a cube. That's 1,000, right? So they have a fabric board and or fabric mat, I should say. And when you're very first starting with your simple math problems, you can lay everything out physically. So your ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and you could go up to like tens, thousands, but you don't want to, especially if you're teaching like basic math, you're not going to go up that far anyways. Once the child starts understanding that far up, they're going to be able to do it on paper anyways. So you don't need to go up much further physically with physical tools past like the thousands, okay? Like your first row, everything is color coded. Like the ones is green, the tens is blue, the hundreds is red. The thousands is green, the 10,000s is blue, and the 100,000s it's red. Okay? So on this fabric mat, it's a row of green, a row of blue, and a row of black. Or a column, excuse me, column is up and down of green, blue, and black. And then there's rows. Like there'll be like a black strip that separates row one from row two, and another black strip that separates row two from row three. So you have your first number on the first row, and you like physically put the pieces there. And then you bring it, like you physically put your next number on the second row, and then like you bring it together, and if you have like more than 10 pieces, you exchange it for a 10 bead, for a 10 strip. And then if you have more than 10 strips, you exchange it for a 100 square. So you get to physically see how these numbers come together, and then you write it down. And and eventually you get to your carryovers, because like if you have like 27 plus 14, you're gonna, that 7 plus 4 is 11, so you're gonna have your one carryover to the tens. So but doing it physically helps the child see physically what's going on. Like, why do we have the tens carry over? They can physically see and understand each unit of measurement and how it all comes together to make a number. So that's the first thing. Once they master that first step, then they can go to what is called, quote, the stamps game. Now, when you phrase these tools as games, it's a lot more fun to the kids, right? So then you go over the stamps game. And instead of having like individual beads and then your bars and then your squares and your cubes, you just have little tiles that has one, 10, hundreds, thousands. And then it's the same idea, except you don't have to get up and exchange anything. and you don't have to have all of so many little pieces. You just have all these tiles. Um, the first way is really only good for addition and subtraction, whereas the tiles game, you can do addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. And while you're doing these things physically, you are also writing down your evidence, you know? So you're writing down your top number and your second number and what operation you're doing, and you're doing it the stack style, you know? And so you get to see how these numbers on paper look as you're physically doing them also. And then basically, after the tile game, you should have mastered addition and subtraction at the bare minimum, you know? Because you're getting to physically see it, physically move it. You're writing your evidence on paper, so you're making the correlation to how this looks and why it looks on paper. So by then, by the end of all that, you should understand pretty easily how to do those basic operations, right? And then the third thing they showed us was the multiplication board. And it's a checkerboard, but it's a 3 colors. So, and God, I don't know if I can explain this very well, but everything's at an angle. So your bottom row goes green, blue, red, green, blue, red. But then the row on top, which would be like your tens, well, no, hold on, that doesn't make any sense. Your row on top of your first row doesn't start with red, it starts with blue, green, or what was I saying? Blue, red, green, blue, red, green. And then on top of that, if you're multiplying 3 numbers, it's red, green, blue, red, green, blue. And so everything's like at a slanted, color coordinated row, kind of. I don't know if that makes sense. I'm trying my best. So, and then you put your number on the bottom and then you get out the beads again, but this time it's different, and because it's not 1, 10, hundreds, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 1 through like 12, I think, of beads. So like one bead is one, but like then you have a 2 bar and a 3 bar and a 4 bar. And she showed us how multiplication works with this, and then it's just the same thing. Like as you do it physically, and you can understand how to multiply 2 numbers when they're stacked on top of each other, like when you write it down stacked on top of each other. Because your ones, you multiply your one by all of the first number of the top number. And then your second row, you have to write the 0, because then you're doing it by tens. And then your second number, you multiply everything by all the top numbers. And then on your third row, you have to write 2 zeros. It just depends on how many numbers you have on your bottom main number. I think I'm just talking in circles, but honestly, at the end of all of this, I took everything in. My first thought was, oh my God, I wish my mother would have had access to this, because I don't think she would be as bad at math as she is if she would have been taught this way. Because I will be honest, I'll put her on blast for this. My mom is not great at math. And I feel like that's something that she's just accepted. She's always told my sister and I, like, no, if it's math, go to your dad. That's your dad's thing. That's not mine. I don't think she's necessarily ashamed of it. But I'm looking at all this, I'm like, dude, my mom totally would have understood things so much better if she would have had this growing up instead of the marker board. But equally, by splitting everything ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, and learning and understanding why the ones go with the ones and how they interact how they do, and why the tens and the of both numbers interact the way they do no matter what operation you're doing, like this is why. And that is what common core is. Common core splits things up by ones and tens for certain problems. It splits things up by ones and tens. You do them individually, then you bring the number back together. And on paper, that because on paper you have to set it up, like the way you have to literally write it on the piece of paper, set up your problem, and make the template for how it's going to look is so confusing. So I understand visually, Common Core, who the hell needs it? But when you break it down physically, when you can physically hold the numbers in your hands by beads and cubes and stuff, it makes so much more sense. One thing I am grateful for though is that no, Montessori does not teach Common Core. Therefore, the way that they also write down the math problems is exactly like all of the adults, how all of the adults in today's world had learned it, right? So, you got 248 over 137, and you add your ones, your tens, your hundreds, deal with any of the carryovers, boom, you got it. There's nothing splitting it up, doing it in separately, and then coming back together. You do it all right here, all in one, right? So when the kids are writing down the evidence of their numbers and how they're being added or subtracted or multiplied or divided, when they're writing it down on the piece of paper, they're writing it down like how I was taught in school, which is fantastic because I tell you what, I know that Montessori is a very tactile learning school, and I was very concerned about how they teach math. And well, what if she comes home with math homework? How am I going to help her if she only knows how to do it with these building blocks? Well, that's not the case. They write it down normally as they go through the steps. Like that's part of showing your work because you're going to get a worksheet and the kids are going to have to work through it physically, and then they're going to have to bring us the worksheet to check the answers. But we can't come over there every single individual student and make sure they're doing their block work right. They have to write down the evidence of what they're doing, which is showing your work. So I was extremely pleased with this seminar, and I'm so glad that I went too, because first of all, the teachers are great. I love the teachers. They're so funny, they're so awesome, they're so informed about things, but equally like, oh God. It was just a really good seminar, and I'm glad that I went. So that was Monday. Um, and then this weekend that just happened. Let me see. Friday. Ooh, Lindley came over. Ava was so happy. She has been waiting for Lindley to come over. Um, she came over Friday night. They stayed until midnight. It was so awesome. It was so fun. I had a really good time. Um, what else? I think that was just Friday night. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I tried this new recipe Friday night. Okay, I didn't try a recipe. I just I just I had some ingredients in my head and I said, "You know what? I want to do a Mexican rice dish, a chicken and rice Mexican dish." And I said, "I don't know how to cook. I know how to cook. I don't know any of the flavor profiles, so I'm just going to do my best." And excuse me. Basically, I cooked up 2 cups of rice and I threw it in a pan. Like I cooked it, and then when I was done cooking, I threw it in my pan of cooked chicken, and I threw in a can of corn, and I threw in a can of rotel, and I threw in a can of black beans, and I threw in a 3/4 cup of lentils for extra protein. And the lentils was few enough. It was a small enough portion, and they were scattered enough, and they're flavorless enough that it didn't ruin the flavor at all. Really, I was very pleased, and I seasoned all the right things at the right time, and I melted me some nacho cheese sauce, pour it on top, scoop it up with some chips. Yum. Josh even said that it's pretty good, and it'd be really good to put in like a burrito and do kind of like, like a cheesy chicken and rice burrito. It would be really good. So, the girls didn't like it, but whatever. But it was a good night. It was good. It was good. It was good. And then the next day, I woke up. It was Saturday, and I thought I was gonna sleep in a lot longer, and I ended up not sleeping in all that long, which is fine. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get up. I have time. I'll make a grocery list, and I'll go grocery shopping real quickly this morning. So I got up, went out. Y'all would not believe Aldi switched up their store layout. I walk in there, and usually on my right is like the breads and the baked goods and like the jams and the jellies and the peanut butter. Nope. What did I find to my right? Whoa! One of the cooler sections. That's weird to have a cooler section right next to the door. That makes no sense to me. Why would you put a cooler section right next to all of the big windows at the front of an opening door. That's how is the food going to stay as cool as it needs to stay when the air is continuously getting sucked out of it and being blasted with the heat? Whatever. Not I don't pay their electric bill. They switched the whole store up. And the aisle layout is different also. Instead of being able to cut through the middle of the aisles because there'd be like one walkway between all the aisles, you have to go all the way down a full aisle in order to get to a new one. That makes me mad. So, where I thought it was going to be a quick half-hour grocery shop trip between two stores ended up being like an hour and a half because I didn't know where anything was in Aldi. I had to go really slow. I had to triple check my list. My list, you guys know I have raved about any list, okay? One of the features about any list, especially when you pay for it, I can't remember what it's like when you don't pay for it. I just pay the annual subscription. It's like $10, okay? One of the features is you can organize your list. Like, I have when I need to get more bread and more peanut butter, more jelly. I know that's all in the bread area. So I can put the category of bread to be first. Then my next section was produce because that's the next thing you come upon in the store. And then the third was the cheese area, the dairy, okay? And then the fourth was like condiments, like salad dressing and ketchup and mayo and canned goods. So like I had it in order. I had my categories in order of how Aldi was set up. And now it has all gone to shit. Useless now. Ugh. So that pissed me off, right? So I finally get done shopping, I check out, give my bag. Okay, I can get most of my stuff at Aldi, but I still have to go to Walmart for like just a few more things. Like there's some drinks that Walmart has that Aldi doesn't have that I like to get. And I prefer Walmart like paper towels and trash bags over Aldi, and sometimes there's a couple food items that Aldi doesn't have. So I still always have to go to Walmart, but I go after Aldi since Walmart has the fewer things. So I get to Walmart, park, I'm walking up to the store. I'm almost to the doors, and I happen to look to my left. And hold on, I need to take a drink. Today's unsponsored drink is vitamin water. I am specifically drinking the Tropical Citrus Energy. It's got a little bit of boost of caffeine to help keep me awake. It is dye-free, regardless of the fun colors that vitamin water has. Vitamin water is artificially dyed-free. So, that's why I get it, despite it being a crazy neon yellow color. It was like a golden yellow color, but still. Hold on. I need a drink. Hold on. My sinuses are getting clogged up a little from talking so much. So, anyways, I'm walking up to Walmart and I look to my left and I see this. He's kind of older. He's maybe like 50, 55 looking. And sorry, Dad. And he's kind of built, he's not out of shape by any means. And he's wearing like a muscle shirt, right? It says SPF American Muscle. And I take a second, I look at it, I did a double take of like, what did I just read? SPF American Muscle? My guy, what does that even freaking mean? Does that mean you're gonna punch the rays of the sun out? Like you're so strong you can punch away getting a sunburn because you're an American, 100% pure American muscle up here, boy. Like, what the fuck does your shirt even mean? Oh my god. That's so douchey, my guy. Oh my god. And then not even a full 60 seconds later, I walk in through the doors and I get a cart and I turn around to walk into the rest of the store and a lady is exiting the store and her shirt simply says, eat a dick. Pure Pure words. I promise you, her shirt said, "Eat a dick." I said, "What? You just walking around here? Eat a dick." What? Oh my God. I mean, go off, sis. Wear what you're comfortable with. But Jesus Christ. Got SPF American Muscle walking in here and I got Eat a Dick walking out. Good Lord, what is today? I go to Aldi, they piss me off. I have never been so happy to get to Walmart because Walmart didn't switch up their whole store overnight. And they had 2 t-shirts that made me laugh. So, I usually don't like going to Walmart. A lot of interesting characters in Walmart. Too many people. I hate it. The lights, hate it. The sounds, hate it. The children, hate it. The lack of self-checkout machines that actually work, hate it. So I try to not go to Walmart as much as I can. I try to only go once a week for specifically the things that I cannot get at Aldi. So, but that was wowza. So I finished that and let's see. Oh, I come home and get the cold food in, right? Get the cold food in the fridge because I gotta go. Ava and I, we go down, we go down to Slim Chicken for lunch on our way out because we got another errand to run over in Decatur that I'm about to tell you guys about. She goes, I'm like, Ava, what do you want? She goes, bacon sandwiches. I said, okay, we're not doing bacon sandwiches for lunch today. How about chicken? Like, well, is Slim Chicken okay? She says, you mean chicken hat chicken? I said, chicken hat chick. Yes, yes. Because Slim Chicken, the logo is a chicken wearing a hat. So sometimes she points out, hey, chicken hat chicken! Look at that chicken hat chicken. It's chicken wearing a hat, mama. Chicken hat chicken. And I'm like, yep, I got it. Yep, you're right. So I'm like, yeah, chicken hat chicken. You cool with that? She goes, they don't have chicken nuggets, mommy. And I'm like, you're right. They don't. I'm really sorry. She goes, can I get bone-in chicken today? And I'm like, you want bone-in chicken today? Meaning she wants chicken wings today. I said, yeah. You want bone-in chicken today, baby? I can get you some bone-in chicken today. That's fine. She never asked for chicken wings. Especially, well, mostly because she's been on her bacon kick. So we pull through, get that bone-in chicken for her. I give myself just chicken sandwich, and we go deposit some cash for Josh in his bank account and whatnot. And ugh, mommy, it's bone-in chicken. You gotta be careful because the bones, you can't eat the bones. And I'm like, I know, you can't eat the bones. She goes, nope, bones aren't good for you. Look at that camera over there. And I'm like, what the fuck? Oh my god. Shush, shush, shush. Let me concentrate on getting this done. Shush. So, after all that, we finally get to our next destination. The quote, surprise. Ava had a surprise Saturday. So, we get to Nat Nat's house and we get Nat Nat's fish. So now I am the proud owner of a 20-gallon fish tank holding 6 fishes. Are you ready? Are you ready for my fishes and their names? I'm proud of this one. Okay, so we have one Placo. Ava named him Bowie. Um, Bowie has been pissed ever since day one of getting put in the tank. He's been hiding in his little castle and he's not came out yet. I even put in 2 algae. I almost said allergy. I put in 2 algae tablets since it's a clean tank. There's no algae for him yet, and he still hasn't came out. So I'll give him about a week until maybe I try to evict him from that castle so that way he can get out and get eating. So I have one Placo named Bowie. We have 2 cherry barbs, one male, one female, and I named them Bonnie and Clyde, which was very fitting for them because they do stick together in the tank. It's very cute. And then I have some platies. I have 3 platies. I have 2 blue ones and 1 orange one. And I have no idea what the sexes are for them. I don't know what their genders are. So I have just assigned them. Okay. The 2 blue ones, I have collectively called them the Blue Ball brothers. One of them is Richard and the other one is John, right? Now, catch my drift. Richard is another name for what? John is another name for the same thing. And they're both blue, and I call them the Blue Ball brothers. Because, yeah. And then the orange one, her name is Biddy. Because sometimes, you just like to see some tickle bitties. Catch my drift on there too? I just had to throw it in there. And of course, Ava goes right over her head. She doesn't know anything about that stuff. So, I've got Richard, John, and Biddy. Those are the Platties. So cute. They're so playful. They're so fun. So, yeah, I got a fish tank. And I got some fish. And it's cool. And, let me think. What else happened? Oh, we went to Texas. We went to Texas Roadhouse for dinner. Because I was craving meat and carbs. All I wanted was some Texas rolls and a steak. Um, pardon me. Hold on. I need a drink. Oh my goodness, my throat. Hold on. Okay. So, I want meat and I want carbs. I want a good steak and I want the delicious rolls. So we get there and we have to wait like 40 minutes, which, I mean, we got there at like 6 on a Saturday night. Of course, there's going to be quite a wait. It's also the only Texas Roadhouse in all of Huntsville. So, when it's the only restaurant and Texas Roadhouse has been voted like the #1 family restaurants in America this past year, there's going to be a wait. And so we get there, and Ava's working on sounding out letters and working on her reading. And so I'm like, okay, well, hey, what's that first word on the logo? It starts with a T. Oh, because she read to go. Because the sign says Texas Roadhouse to go. We were sitting in their to go area. And good heavens. Hold on. Sorry, just coughed up a lung. So we're sitting in their to go area, and she read the sign. She goes, does that say to go? And I said, yeah, it does. Good job. Hey, try to read that first word. And she goes, the T word? I said, yeah. She goes, X, ass, tex, 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 ass? Tex, ass? And I'm like, no, no, close. Put it together. Tex, ass. No, say it faster. Texas. Oh, Texas. Yep. Good job. No ass. S. So, which I got my steak and I got my rolls. Ooh, ooh, ooh. It was good. The flavor was exactly what I wanted and it was perfect. And the rolls, nice and squishy and warm, fluffy, and the butter was so good. Yes, ma'am. Mm-mm-mm. Perfect. So, yeah, that's about it. And then I think one more thing, last thing, and then I'll go. I'll let you go finish whatever the heck you gotta go do. I'm starting this GLP-1 patch. I just did day 5 today, and I'm gonna make it. I've been doing like a TikTok series on it, so I'm gonna go like make some more videos about it here in just a couple minutes when I get done recording this. But I I don't know if I've lost any weight. I don't think I have, which I think is also a contributing factor to my energy level being so low is the fact that like I am so heavy. It's it's an issue. It's an issue. So, which I'm trying to slowly work on and I'm going to have to rearrange my schedule because I've realized like okay, the perfect day, I wake up, I get Ava ready, take her to school, come back, do an hour of cleaning and then work for 8 hours, cook dinner, and then chill or finish up the rest of the chores, right? Well, that leaves no time for exercising. And I can rearrange my schedule to fix and to fit in a little more exercise time. Because initially, I woke up before I needed to get Ava up and ready and breakfast and going out the door to do some exercise time, but I just cannot wake up that early. I just can't. It is, I'm already struggling through the day with waking up as early as I do. Um, I can't, I do not want to wake up any earlier. So, and if I don't want to do it, then I'm not going to do it because guess what? I'm an adult and I don't have to do things, certain things. But either way, um, follow me on TikTok, Average Ghost Mom. Keep up with my GLP-1 adventure. I'm also on Instagram. You can message me either place if you have any comments, questions, concerns, ideas. Let me know how I'm doing. You can listen to me on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcast. I would appreciate if you guys could rate and leave a comment on any of the platforms that you listen to. Um, and I guess from there, I think I'll talk to you guys later. All right. Bye.